Good to go.
All right, there, it's official. Connor, great to see you. How are things going?
I'm well, Bonnie. How are you?
I'm good. Okay, so I've had the privilege now to interview you for each season of Lock and Key. So, I'm very, very honored for that. And I'm a little verklempt, my friend, because this is the end. How are you
This
feeling?
is the end. I mean, I feel a mix of things. It's weird because we finished shooting this season last September, so it was almost a year ago, which is normal. But you kind of feel like you're saying goodbye then, So we had our goodbye, so it almost feels like this weird like echo. But I've gotten to see all my friends from the show over the last few days, which has been really lovely. So it feels more like a reunion than like a goodbye in a way.
Right.
So it's actually really nice. I mean, I'm excited for people to see it. I'm sort of nostalgic for it already. It's bittersweet.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Now I gotta say, I, as a fan of the show as well, I was very satisfied with how it ended, I have to say. And but it was very emotional, I found this season. There was a lot going on. Man, I without giving anything away, because there's so many little surprises and things, people we haven't seen in a while, we see again. I love that. I love that. But for Tyler, when at the end of season 2, obviously he had decided, he had made that decision that he's going to move on. He wants out of this, but he does come back. What was it like for you to play him kind of like that? Because it's the first time we've seen him like, okay, he's moved on. I don't want to talk to my sister, my brother, my mother. I want my own life. You know what I mean? You're separating yourself from them, not just as a character, but as an actor too, right?
Yeah, I mean, we developed in the previous 2 seasons, we'd all developed, the 4 of us, a really specific mood and tone together. We knew what the relationships of our characters were. We even stuff as simple as like how we stood next to each other in scenes, and how it became very automatic by the end of season 2. And going into season 3, I kind of had to throw all of that away. And he comes when he reconnects with his family, he's in a totally different place, and he's on a totally different foot. He feels he doesn't remember magic, and they do, and he senses that something's going on and that something's wrong and that something is happening with them or to them, but he doesn't know what it is. So he feels outside of them in a way that he never has before, and he feels out of place with them and out of place at home, which is very unsettling for him. And I mean, for example, in previous seasons, Amelia and I used to joke that like the most common stage direction in Lock and Key is Tyler and Kinsey share a look. Almost every scene is Tyler and Kinsey share a look, because something crazy is happening, and we have a knowing glance, and suddenly we found ourselves in a place where like we're no more sharing looks. But it was actually kind of exciting because we got to like act together again in a way, I think we'd gotten so used to standing next to each other and looking at whatever's happening, and it was nice to actually be able to look at each other again and have to reevaluate and it was kind of exciting to be in a different place.
Yeah, and I also loved Darby's progression in this season too, because she learns a lot of things. That was so heartbreaking. Nina has really evolved from 1 to 3, no question about it. But her playing your mom, and to watch her go through this, and then you guys are kind of a family, like you've established that. It had to be a little challenging this season, I think, just knowing in the back of your mind, like, this is the end. Like, I don't know. I mean, am I being too sappy? I don't know.
No, I mean, it's like, you spend a lot of time with people when you're working, and it's more time. It's a very specific type of time that's very intense. That's different, I think, than working together with someone in an office or something, because you're spending 15 hours a day in really physically and emotionally demanding place. And I mean, especially season 2 and 3, we shot back to back. So we shot for like 240 days straight.
Whoa.
So it was a year. We spent a year together, and we spent
Yeah.
every moment of that year together. So saying goodbye and knowing that even though these people are going to be in your life, and even though you're going to stay in touch, you're going to be friends, that, you know, we all live in different places. We're going to have different jobs. We have different lives, you know? So it is a moment in time. And there's something, I mean, when I was really young, and it was really heartbreaking for me, that process of realizing that
Yeah.
it was like leaving summer camp. It's
I'm
gotten
sure.
it's gotten a bit easier as I've gotten older, but
Yeah.
still, I mean, on this show, you know, we were saying goodbye to characters sort of every week as we got closer to the end. This character would wrap, that character would wrap. We would
Right.
wrap this location, that room, the last time we shoot here, the last time we shoot there. So it's this sort of like parade of goodbyes.
Yeah.
That's sad and melancholy, but also like kind of lovely way to it's much better than, you know, we wrap hoping that we come back and then we find out that we don't, and then we
Right. No, for
you know.
sure. It was a set ending you knew. Yeah, you were.
Yeah, which was really satisfying.
Yeah. Okay, let's just talk about our great Canadian actor, Kevin Durant. Oh my God.
Isn't
boy,
he
is
wonderful?
He is so good as Frederick. Like, we really get to see him shine in season 3.
Yeah.
How much fun was it having him be mean to you guys? And then after take, you know, rap, it's like, I'm sorry. Like, what is it like
Well,
to work with him?
Kevin is the loveliest person I've ever met. Like,
Yeah.
almost worryingly nice. Like, he's so sweet. And he's like 6 foot, you know, he's like a massive man. Like,
Right.
you meet him for the first time and you go like, whoa, like your head tilts up. You can almost like hear the joints in your neck.
Yeah.
But he's so warm and friendly and gentle, and the exact opposite of this character, and actually the exact opposite of many characters that he's played over the years.
Exactly. Yeah.
And he brought a real sense of fun to this show. I mean, he's a very nasty character and he's very menacing, but he
Yeah.
had so much fun being this villain. And Dodge was a great villain, but in a way was like, I don't know, less outwardly aggressive toward the family.
Yes.
Dodge worked in the shadows a bit more, whereas
Yeah.
Gideon is full on, you know, waging war against the Locks basically by the end of the season. And that was it became a lot of fun to do that with Kevin.
Yeah. I don't want to give too much away, but okay, if you could go back in time and just even look in on a time of your life and remember it with, you know, what would that be?
You mean like with the time shift key?
Yeah. If you could just go back any time in your life and go, wow, I'd love to just kind of relive that or rewatch it. You know, even you don't even have to change it.
That's interesting. I mean, there are definitely times in my life, like the first week of a romance or the project that I was working on when I'd love to see. I had such a strong image of myself when I was like 18, 19. And I feel like when I think about it now, I'm like, wow, that image was really flimsy. You know, like it must have been obvious to the people around me how manufactured that was. Right. And I would love to just be able to peek in and see how I seemed at that time. And I don't know, I just think it'd be fascinating.
Yeah, I agree. There are certain times in our lives where you think it's just went by or you're not paying attention. And then I agree with you. I would love to go back and remember what I was like at 18. That's way farther than yours than my 18. But yeah, no, it's interesting. It was an interesting concept in the show too. And also, do you ever get used to working? Like, the show is so special effects laden.
Yeah.
Do you ever get used to that? Like with reacting to nothing, and how do you know, it's just each season
I mean,
more and more.
I've done a bit of that over the years, and it gets more fun. And I realized Locke Key taught me a really great lesson with that stuff. And I think just with that, I think it applies to acting in general, which is like, you kind of just have to let go and release the possibility of embarrassment. Because, you know, there's a scene, for example, in this season where I'm doing battle with an out of control chain, and there's no chain. It's not real. There's no chain. So it's just like, here, take this holder and throw yourself around the room and imagine that a chain is pulling you. and you feel like an idiot, right? Because like there's no VFX, there's no music, it's not edited, there's no, you just you for 5 minutes throwing yourself on the floor. But what if you can get past the embarrassment, then it becomes just like, and you trust the people who are going to take it and work on it, it becomes really fun. Like it becomes the closest thing that I think that I found as an adult to playing in the sand pit when you're a kid, you know?
100%. Yeah, it does look like a lot of fun. So, okay, so what's coming up next for you? What's your next step? What's the move? What are you working on?
Well, I've sort of been in this rhythm for the last number of years where when I finish an acting job, I try and change gears and focus on, I make my own movies. So I've been spending the time since we wrapped, mostly writing.
Good for you.
So that's I mean, that's some days are better than others, but that's been the focus, and traveling, seeing friends, and trying to, Locke Key was almost, now it's almost 4 years since that experience began. So it's been a big chunk of my life. And I feel like a different person now than when I started. And so it's interesting to try and look at myself again and work again on my own stuff and see where I'm at.
I was going to ask you that because I wanted to know how you reflect when you look back at when you started the show and where you are now, how much you've changed and grown.
It's great. I mean, I saw Amelia the other day and we were talking about the first time we met, and in Toronto in February of 2019. And she was 16.
Yeah.
And I was 24, and now she's 20 and I'm 28, and we both feel like completely different people. Our relationship is profound and deep, and we just never could have really imagined that we'd be where we are, who we are, and who we are together. It's like a really wonderful and meaningful part of my life now, that we were just met at a coffee shop. And that's the wonderful thing about this job, I think, or one of the great things is that it sort of brings people into your life in a very intense way that I don't have anything else like that in my life. And then these people become,
it's a family. It's truly a family.
Yeah, I spend a lot more time with them when I'm working than I do with my family. It becomes like almost like a supercharged sort of friendship. So it's been a really impactful and lovely 4 years.
Yeah, well, we love this series, and I'm so happy that they gave Amelia a song to sing in this season.
I think 2, no? I think she sings 2.
Maybe you're right. I can't remember. I know one for sure that really stood out for me. But my God, her performance in Coda, like,
I know. I'm so proud of her.
Broke my heart watching her.
She's incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, she's one of these people that like you meet. I mean, I remember meeting her when she's 16, and before I saw a second of her acting, I knew that she just had something shiny and special, and it's impossible to put your finger on why, but it's obvious to everyone. And so I'm alternately very, very, very proud of her, and also completely unsurprised. I mean, it's like, to me, it seems totally natural that she's doing the work she's doing and getting the attention she's getting, because she's one of the most beautiful people I know.
Well, you're a pretty beautiful guy yourself, Connor, and I always love talking to you. I really always appreciate your time that you give me, and always, when you're back in, well, I don't know where you are right now, but come home to Toronto soon, and hopefully.
I hope. I'm never away for long.
Yeah, I know that. We'll see you in person too. Come home for TIFF or something, and we'll grab a coffee. I don't know, whatever. But always lovely talking to you. Best of luck with the. Oh, you're welcome. My pleasure always. And best of luck with the last season. I know people are gonna love it. I sure did. So thank you so much.
I'm really glad. Thanks.
Okay, nice seeing you. Take care.
Have a lovely day or evening.
Yeah, you too. Okay, bye.